If you're over 60, cruising might be the best way to see the world. No packing and unpacking, no airport layovers at every destination. Everything you need is right there on the ship. And you're not alone in thinking that. According to the Cruise Lines International Association, 81% of baby boomers say they're enthusiastic about taking a cruise. That same generation is spending around $157 billion a year on travel. But here's what nobody wants to say out loud. Seniors are also the group most likely to have their vacation wrecked, or worse, cut short by a medical emergency, a financial trap, or a mistake they didn't even know they were making. These aren't hypothetical problems. These are things that happen on ships every single week. And the cruise lines aren't going out of their way to warn you about them. I've gone through real stories from cruise forums, Reddit threads, cruise critic boards, insurance industry data, and first-hand accounts to put together the 15 biggest mistakes seniors over 60 are making on cruises. Some of these could cost you thousands. A few of them could genuinely put your life at risk. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1. Assuming your Medicare covers you at sea. This is the big one, and it trips up more seniors than almost anything else. According to a 2026 report from Squaremouth, one of the largest travel insurance comparison platforms in the country, 76% of senior travelers assume that Medicare will cover them when they're cruising internationally. It won't. Standard Medicare does not cover medical expenses outside the United States. There are very narrow exceptions, like if a foreign hospital is closer than a U.S. one during an emergency, but those are rare and unreliable. So here's what actually happens. You get sick in the middle of the Caribbean. The ship's medical center treats you, and when you walk out, you're handed a bill that you are fully responsible for. One passenger on Norwegian Escape shared a medical bill that went viral on Reddit. Nearly $10,000. The bulk of it was professional services, IV treatments, and tests. And Medicare would have covered exactly zero of it. If you're cruising internationally and you don't have separate travel medical insurance, you are gambling with your savings. Mistake number 2. Buying the cruise line's insurance and thinking you're covered. A lot of seniors do the right thing and buy insurance, but they buy the wrong kind. When you book your cruise, the cruise line will offer their own travel protection plan. It sounds convenient. It's right there on the checkout page. But here's what Squaremouth and other industry experts have been warning about. Cruise line insurance policies typically have poor cancellation terms and only give you future cruise credit instead of a real cash refund. Royal Caribbean's standard policy, for example, only includes up to $25,000 in emergency medical coverage and $50,000 in medical evacuation. That sounds like a lot until you learn that a medical evacuation from a cruise ship can cost $250,000 or more, according to the CDC. A third-party travel insurance policy almost always offers better coverage, better terms, and actual cash refunds. And yet, 23% of seniors don't bother with trip cancellation coverage at all because they think the cruise line has them covered. Don't make that mistake. Mistake number 3. Waiting too long to buy your travel insurance. This is a sneaky one. Even seniors who buy proper third-party insurance are often doing it too late. If you want coverage for pre-existing medical conditions, and at 60+, there's a decent chance you have something. You typically need to purchase your policy within 14 to 21 days of making your initial trip deposit. Miss that window, and your heart condition, your diabetes, your blood pressure medication, none of that is covered. According to Squaremouth's 2026 data, 55% of senior cruisers miss out on pre-existing condition coverage and cancel for any reason protection because they buy their policy too late. That means more than half of senior cruisers are leaving money and protection on the table simply because they waited a few extra weeks. Buy your insurance early. Not next week, the same week you book. Mistake number 4. Packing medications in checked luggage. This one sounds so simple that you'd think nobody would do it, but it happens constantly. Your medications should always go in your carry-on bag, not your checked suitcase, not the bag you're handing off at the port. If that bag gets delayed, lost, or ends up in the wrong cabin, you could be without critical medication for hours or even days. And here's the part people forget. You should also bring extra medication beyond what you think you'll need, enough for at least a week of extra supply. Cruise itineraries get changed all the time due to weather, port closures, or mechanical issues. If your 7-day cruise turns into 9 days, you need enough medication to cover that gap. And don't count on the ship's medical center to have what you need. They stock basic treatments, not your specific prescriptions. Mistake number 5. Not consulting your doctor before you sail. This goes beyond just getting a checkup. The CDC actually recommends that older travelers, especially those with coronary artery disease or serious medical conditions, carry a hard or digital copy of their baseline electrocardiogram when they travel. If you have a cardiac event at sea, the ship's medical team needs that information fast. They don't have access to your medical records back home. You should also have a conversation with your doctor about your specific itinerary. Some medications interact badly with seasickness treatments. Certain blood pressure drugs can amplify the effects of heat and dehydration in tropical climates. And if you're on blood thinners, your doctor needs to know you'll be far from a hospital that can manage complications. This conversation takes 15 minutes. Not having it could cost you everything. Mistake number 6. Skipping the DIY first aid pharmacy. The onboard medical center charges premium prices for basic over-the-counter drugs. One cruiser reported that a single pack of 2 Dramamine pills cost $3.50 on a Royal Caribbean ship, while you can buy 36 tablets on Amazon for about $12. Another passenger on a Royal Caribbean sailing shared how Benadryl for an allergic reaction was going to cost her nearly $400 through the ship's medical center, and that included the doctor consultation fee. You need to pack your own mini pharmacy. Pain relievers, antacids, cold and flu medication, anti-diarrhea tablets, seasickness pills, Band-Aids, eye drops, antibiotic ointment, and hydrocortisone cream. Whatever you might reach for in your medicine cabinet at home, bring it. The ship's onboard store has limited stock, and what they do carry is marked up significantly. One passenger avoided a $400 charge simply because another guest on the ship happened to have spare Benadryl. Don't rely on the kindness of strangers for your health. Mistake number 7. Choosing the wrong cabin location. Most first-time cruisers book based on price or view. Seniors need to book based on stability and proximity. Cabins at the front of the ship feel the most movement, especially in rough seas. If you're prone to feeling unsteady on your feet, that constant swaying can be a real problem. Midship cabins on lower decks are the most stable part of the ship, but it's not just about motion. You also need to think about what's above and below you. A cabin underneath the pool deck means early morning scraping of sun loungers overhead. A room below the nightclub means bass thumping until 2 a.m. And don't underestimate distance. Modern cruise ships are massive. If walking long corridors tires you out, book a cabin close to the elevators and the areas you'll use most, like the dining room and the medical center. Mistake number 8. Not booking an accessible cabin early enough. If you use a wheelchair, a walker, or even a cane, you need an accessible stateroom. These rooms have wider doorways, roll-in showers, grab bars, lowered surfaces, and emergency call buttons. But here's the problem. There aren't many of them. On Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas, there are 41 accessible rooms. On one of their older ships, like Vision of the Seas, there are only 14, out of thousands of cabins. These rooms book out fast, especially on popular itineraries. And here's a detail many seniors don't know. If you book an accessible cabin but don't actually have documented mobility needs, the cruise line can reassign your cabin close to sailing if another guest requires it. Book early. Confirm your requirements with the cruise line, and don't assume a standard cabin will work if you have any mobility concerns. Mistake number 9. Ignoring tender port accessibility. Some of the most beautiful cruise destinations don't have docks large enough for ships to pull up to. Instead, the ship anchors offshore and uses smaller boats called tenders to shuttle passengers to land. And for seniors with mobility issues, tenders can be a nightmare. The boats bob up and down with the waves. There can be a gap of up to 12 inches to step across between the ship and the tender. On some cruise lines, crew members will physically lift wheelchair users into the tender. On others, they'll draw lines on the floor 1 meter apart and ask you to prove you can step over them before they'll let you board. If you can't, you stay on the ship, and the cruise line doesn't reimburse you for missed ports. Before you book an itinerary, check which ports require tendering. If mobility is a concern, this should be a deal breaker for specific destinations. Mistake number 10. Trying to do everything and burning out. Cruise schedules are packed. Shows at night, excursions during the day, cooking classes, trivia, pool activities, specialty dining reservations. It's tempting to fill every hour because you paid for this vacation and you want to get your money's worth. But overexertion is a real and underestimated problem for seniors on cruises. If you're used to a quiet routine at home, suddenly waking up at 6 a.m. for a shore excursion, walking miles through a port city in the heat, then rushing back for a dinner reservation, that's a recipe for exhaustion, dehydration, and in some cases, a medical event. Experienced senior cruisers will tell you the same thing. Build in downtime. Take a nap. Sit on your balcony. Skip an excursion if your body is telling you to rest. You paid for the entire ship, not just the port days. Use it. Mistake number 11. Not staying hydrated, especially in the tropics. This one quietly wrecks more senior cruises than people realize. As we age, our thirst reflex weakens. That means you can be significantly dehydrated without feeling thirsty. Add in tropical heat, salty cruise food, alcohol by the pool, and hours of walking through port cities, and you've got a dangerous combination. Dehydration in seniors can lead to dizziness, confusion, falls, and in severe cases, hospitalization. And if you end up in the ship's medical center getting IV fluids, that's going to cost you hundreds, if not thousands. Carry a refillable water bottle everywhere. Most newer ships have water refilling stations on multiple decks. Set reminders on your phone to drink water if you have to. This is not just a comfort issue. For seniors, it's a safety issue. Mistake number 12. Relying on hand sanitizer to prevent norovirus. Every cruise ship has hand sanitizer stations at every entrance, and most passengers assume that using them is enough to stay healthy. It's not. Norovirus, the stomach bug that regularly makes headlines on cruise ships, is uniquely resistant to alcohol-based sanitizers. The virus doesn't have a lipid envelope, which means hand sanitizer doesn't fully kill it. The only truly effective defense is washing your hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. Before eating, after using the bathroom, after touching railings, elevator buttons, or buffet utensils. Norovirus is wildly contagious. Fewer than 20 viral particles can make you sick. And when a passenger vomits, those particles can travel up to 25 feet through the air. For seniors, the biggest danger isn't the virus itself. It's the dehydration it causes. Older adults can become dangerously dehydrated from the vomiting and diarrhea within hours. If you get sick, report to the medical center immediately. Don't try to tough it out. Mistake number 13. Falling for port scams and timeshare traps. Seniors are disproportionately targeted by scam artists at cruise ports, and the scams are getting more sophisticated. One common scheme involves someone at the port offering a free day pass to a luxury resort, complete with food, drinks, and transportation. Sounds amazing. The catch is you'll be subjected to an aggressive, high-pressure timeshare or vacation club sales pitch. People have signed legally binding contracts after a few cocktails, and in many foreign countries, there's no cooling-off period to cancel. Once you sign, you're locked in. An elderly solo traveler from South Korea shared his story on a cruise blog recently. Before he even reached his ship in Barcelona, a stranger offered to help him at a train station ticket machine. That person watched him enter his PIN. An accomplice swiped his wallet on the train, and they withdrew 6,000 euros from his account before he even realized what happened. Because they had the PIN, the bank refused to return the money. Stick to cruise line-endorsed excursions or reputable third-party providers with verified reviews. Never book anything from someone who approaches you at the port. And never enter your PIN where someone can see it. Mistake number 14. Booking the wrong type of ship. Not every cruise ship is built the same, and the experience varies dramatically depending on what you book. Mega ships carrying 5,000 to 7,000 passengers offer water slides, rock climbing walls, and go-kart tracks. That's not really designed for a 65-year-old with a bad knee. But plenty of seniors book them because they're the cheapest option or the most heavily advertised. Smaller ships from lines like Holland America, Viking, Celebrity, and Azamara tend to attract an older demographic, offer enrichment programs, smaller crowds, and more destination-focused itineraries. The pace is gentler. The entertainment is more cultural. The dining is more refined. And, importantly, smaller ships can dock in ports that megaships can't access, meaning fewer tender situations. Before you book, think honestly about what kind of vacation you want. A floating theme park or a floating boutique hotel? Because picking the wrong one can make or break your entire trip. Mistake number 15. Flying in the day of departure. This is the mistake that has stranded more cruisers than almost anything else. You book a flight that arrives the morning of your cruise, thinking you'll save money by skipping a hotel night. Then your flight gets delayed, or canceled, or your luggage doesn't make it. And now you're standing in an airport watching your ship pull away from port without you on it. The cruise line will not wait. And if you miss the ship, you're responsible for all the costs of catching up to it at the next port, if that's even possible. For seniors, this is even more stressful because you're dealing with jet lag, time zone changes, and the physical toll of rushing through airports. The smart move is arriving the day before and staying at a hotel near the port. Yes, it costs an extra night, but it also gives you a buffer, a chance to rest, and the peace of mind that comes from knowing you'll actually make it onto the ship. Experienced cruisers treat this as non-negotiable. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button because we put out content like this every week to help you cruise smarter. And drop a comment below telling me which one of these mistakes surprised you the most. Or if you've experienced any of these firsthand, I want to hear your story. Until next time, happy cruising.